Attention passionate New York Giants fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on New York Giants' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true New York Giants fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and New York Giants fans. Let's get to the news, all right. Folks, buckle up because what I'm about to tell you could be a game changer, not just for the Giants, but for the entire NFC East and potentially the league. Rumors are swirling about a blockbuster trade that could reshape how the Giants approach their offense and their rebuild. And it's all centered around Jamar Chase, the explosive receiver from the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, I know what you're thinking. Chase is a young superstar, a game breaker, and the kind of player every team dreams of having. Well, the buzz suggests that the Giants are eyeing him, and the Bengals might be willing to part ways, which is pretty wild when you consider Chase's talent and potential. Let's break it down. The Bengals, sitting at 5-10 this season, are facing a bit of a crossroads. Their offense has been inconsistent, and with the recent extension for Joe Burrow, which is worth around $161 million, they're now facing a hefty cap hit. The numbers tell a story. Chase's cap hit is about $23 million, which is a significant chunk for a team that's also trying to keep other core players like T. Higgins, who's set to make around $24 million next year. With the Bengals trying to balance their cap, focus on rebuilding their defense, allowing only about 23 points per game, and manage their offensive stars, it's becoming clear that Chase might be available for the right price. Now that's where it gets interesting for the Giants. They're currently sitting at 2-13, which is a tough spot, but it also means they're in a prime position to make bold moves. Adding a player like Chase could instantly elevate their passing game, which has been a real weakness this season. The Giants have struggled to stretch the field, and their receivers haven't been able to consistently create mismatches. Chase, with his ability, could change that dynamic overnight. His career stats are impressive. Over 570 receptions, more than 400 yards, and a yards per reception average of 13. 4 yards in 2025 with 17 touchdowns last season. His yards after catch are elite, leading the league with over 520 yards YAC, and he's shown minimal injury history, making him a reliable target. The trade rumors suggest that the Giants might be willing to send a first-round pick in the 2026 draft and a second-round pick in 2027 in exchange for Chase. This kind of package is pretty aggressive, but it makes sense for a team that's looking to accelerate its rebuild and make a serious push next season. The Giants are probably counting on Chase's ability to add explosiveness and big play capability, which could be the difference in close games, especially on third down, where they've historically struggled. Adding Chase could boost their third down conversion rate by around 15%, and increase their yards per pass attempt by roughly 2 yards, making their offense a lot more dangerous. And it's not just about the immediate impact. Chase is a player who can help transform the Giants' offense into a high-octane unit, capable of putting up points and controlling the clock. His ability to create mismatches against defenses, coverages that often double-team other receivers, would open up opportunities for Daniel Jones and the rest of the offense. Plus, with his knack for big plays, the Giants could see their red zone efficiency jump by around 12%, turning more drives into touchdowns. This kind of upgrade is exactly what the Giants need, especially considering their offensive line has been improving but still needs more help to keep defenses honest. Now, let's talk about the big picture. The NFL playoffs are looming, and the odds are stacked against the Giants. Yet, if they manage to land Chase, their Super Bowl chances could get a serious boost. The latest betting lines show the Giants' odds of winning the Super Bowl at around plus 20, pretty long shots. But with Chase, that could drop significantly, maybe to around plus 9. That's a huge difference. Chase has the potential to be an X-factor in the postseason, especially if he can replicate or even surpass his previous performances. His ability to add 300-plus yards after catch, combined with the duo of Neighbors and others, would lead to more big plays, more explosive runs, more long receptions, and a total overhaul of their offensive identity. For the Bengals, however, this move might signal a rebuilding phase. Their focus on defense and the extension for Burrow suggest they're trying to stay competitive, but losing Chase could slow that process down. They're betting on their young core, and hoping to develop their defense further, but losing a player of Chase's caliber would be a blow. The Bengals are probably looking at a longer rebuild, especially if they don't get good value in return. The rumors imply they might get a first-round pick in 2026 and a second-rounder in 2027, which could be valuable assets for a team in need of youth and draft capital. But it's a bold move for a franchise that just extended Burrow. Now, for the Giants, this isn't just about adding a star. It's about making a statement. It's about signaling that they're serious about contending sooner rather than later. Chase's presence could catalyze their entire offense, making Daniel Jones more effective and opening the door for a more balanced attack. Remember, the Giants have been building their defense, and with players like Dexter Lawrence and Kayvon Thibodeaux, they're not far from being a complete team. Adding Chase would give them that extra weapon they desperately need to take the next step and push for a playoff run. This trade, if it goes through, would echo the great Super Bowl eras where a game-changing receiver made all the difference. Think about the impact that players like Plaxico Burress had in those Giants Super Bowl runs. Chase, with his elite YAC and ability to stretch the field, could be that kind of difference maker. Plus, it would send a message to the rest of the league. We're all in now. The fans would be ecstatic, the locker room would be energized, and the entire NFC East would have to respond. It's a bold move, no doubt, but one that could define the Giants' future for years to come. Now, I know some of you might be cautious. Trading a first-round pick in 2026 and a second in 2027 isn't something to take lightly. But sometimes you have to make bold moves to accelerate the rebuild. The Giants have been patient, but now is the time to strike if the opportunity is right. Chase's talent, combined with the Giants' young core and emerging defense, could be the perfect recipe for a deep playoff run and, dare I say, a shot at another Super Bowl. The division is wide open, and with a player like Chase, the Giants could turn the NFC East into their playground once again. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest New York Giants news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. So what do you think, Giants fans? Are we about to witness a seismic shift in our offense? Will Chase be the piece that finally takes us over the top? Or is this just another rumor that will fade away? I want to hear your thoughts. Drop your comments below and tell me if you're all in on this potential move. Do you believe Chase can be the spark that reignites our Super Bowl dreams? And how do you see this impacting the NFC East and the league at large? Remember, the Giants are on the rise, and with the right moves, we might be looking at a very different picture next season. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, rumors, and analysis. Stay tuned, stay passionate, and let's keep the Giants' spirit alive. Whether this trade happens or not, one thing is for sure. Our team is heading in an exciting direction, and the future looks brighter than ever. Let's keep supporting our guys, dreaming big, and believing that the next chapter in Giants history could be our greatest yet. Thanks for sticking with me, and as always, go Giants.